was a very toxic dynamic. My friends, everybody around me, you know, it was like one of those things where it's just like, Audrey, no, like, why? Yeah, it's like exactly in the White Lotus, like, why are you with this middle-aged weirdo? All right, Sex and the City episode 2. My next situationship, which was a guy who was a music producer who lived in Greenpoint. He lived right down the street. My roommate at the time introduced me to him outside of a coffee shop. We ran into this guy on like a Sunday afternoon. He's like, oh, I actually need a vocalist, because she's like, oh, Audrey's a really talented vocalist, and he immediately is like, oh, can you come over like now? And I was like, okay. I end up working on these like jingles that are like so fucking cheesy. They're like, you know, things that he's pitching to Target commercials. And so I'm like working on different ones for him for a couple of hours. He keeps me there for a long time. And then, you know, he ends up like at the end of the night, like giving me a scotch. We start hooking up. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like, the sex was great. I mean, this man was like 6'3", I want to say, and Israeli, and just very sure of himself in the bedroom. We'll just put it that way. And a Leo, so, you know. It was pretty hot. I'll just put it that way. But this guy was like a solid, I don't know, let's think about this. I would have been 25, I think, and he would have been like 40 something. Like probably, I guess early 40s. Like I think he was like 42. So big age difference. And but I end up hooking up with him. We start hooking up regularly. Like from that night on, I feel like it was like I was over there. He never really slept over at my place. We proceed to like hook up and go out for the next year, I would say. But he's like very strict to say that I'm never his girlfriend. You know, he makes sure that I know that distinction, even though I am literally there every night. And I would like pay for dinners a lot of the time. I would say more of the time than him. And I was, you know, younger than him. And so the dynamic became very much like he would use me for like my vocals on his tracks, which like I never got paid for any of that time. Like, you know, he gave me like the demos, but he always was like, you know, I don't have time to work on your stuff. Like he would have me play my songs for him and he would like kind of put them down. And so it was a very toxic dynamic. My friends, everybody around me, you know, it was like one of those things where it's just like, Audrey, no, like why? Yeah, it's like exactly in the White Lotus, like why are you with this middle-aged weirdo? Except what's funny is, does he have a lot of money? No, I did it wrong, you guys. My middle-aged weirdo was broke as a joke, so I was the one paying for shit. And the cruelest part is, I really fell for him, and especially because he wouldn't commit to me, in spite of, I don't know why the title mattered so much to me back then, because I was 25, I was young, it did matter. And as someone who loves therapy, it has taken me a long time to unpack why I always gravitate towards non-committal relationships like this, because it was the norm for so long for me. Like, I mean, the story I told before this one about the guy who was on tour all the time, it's a very Aquarian thing, because to be honest with you, we need our space. We really do. But it's also due to my parents' divorce. I've unpacked it in a lot of ways since then, but yeah, if you're in a situationship, maybe just check that. Been dating for about a year. 4th of July, I get drunk. I tell him I love him. He breaks up with me. We can't, but he like tells me he won't keep seeing me the next day. Like, how mean? A girl tells you that she loves you, that you've been seeing, hooking up with, using for a year. You break up with her. Then he proceeds to start dating another girl that is, I don't know, not much older. I think she was probably like 34. Like immediately after we break up. And I end up, okay, this is really long, so I'm going to have to do a part 2.